What's going on, guys? It's Adam P, and welcome back to more Newcastle United news. Apologies for the backdrop. I'm currently not home, so sorry that it's not my usual spot today. But as always, we're here to give you the updates and the news and just what's been going on in the world of Newcastle United. And it's certainly been quite an exciting build-up, I would say, to the Wolves game. I've been quite pleased with the international break. I've been happy how our players out in duty have done. And especially the new signings coming in, I just feel like this Wolves game is going to be a real turning point for Newcastle. And you could argue the start of a new era for this football club as we head into what is going to be an action-packed Champions League season with us playing Barcelona a week today. I can't believe I'm saying it. This time next week, it is a match day against Barcelona in the Champions League. I am buzzing to be saying that. So make sure, if you're new around here, to get down there, hit that subscribe button so you stay updated and don't miss out on what is going to be quite an exciting and ambitious Champions League season here at Newcastle United. I want to start this video off with the ticket situation going on yesterday, which we addressed in the video, because Newcastle United have now made a public statement towards the media channels and now actually made quite a big announcement saying that they took 78 season tickets away from fans and went into detail about how they're actually checking over 4,500 accounts currently over tickets that are being sold on third-party websites and tickets that are being distributed illegally here at this football club. So to give you the exact quote now, a club spokesman has said Newcastle United has cancelled a number of tickets for the Champions League match with Barcelona due to a breach of season ticket terms and conditions. The relevant season tickets have also been cancelled with immediate effect and without refund. These tickets will be made available to Newcastle United supporters through the club's existing ticket sale process. Supporters who suspect unauthorised reselling pages are urged to sign relevant details to the supporters' email. Chronicle Live understands that 4,500 membership accounts are being watched due to suspicious activity, and around 750 supporters are currently being actively monitored for potential touting and unauthorised selling. A total of 78 memberships and season tickets have been cancelled so far this season. The club added that it is actively purchasing unauthorised tickets in an attempt to identify a source. Big warning message from Newcastle United. The thing that's confused me a little bit is that, especially the media pages out there, they've portrayed this and they've linked it directly to the Dundee school, which has got 45 tickets all towards the Barcelona game. Now, as far as I'm aware of these schools, all 45 of them tickets are together. They're going to be in the same couple of rows. So when you look at that example and compare it to the actual season tickets that are being banned, it still seems a bit of a lack of correlation between the two. Because when I look at it, I still stand by these Dundee school tickets have been authorised. As far as I understand it, there's going to be parties and coach companies, there's going to be different companies related to Newcastle that is able to distribute these tickets to different schools. Of course, the idea being Newcastle wants to grow that fan base, to want supporters across the UK to be able to come watch Newcastle United play. We went into detail yesterday about how this particular Dundee school has had opportunities before, how this Dundee school is actually a private school where you're talking upwards of £20,000 a year just to have the privilege of going to this school. And Newcastle has always been a club. Back the Leeds is stand behind the goal. They've always had schools there every single match, and every single football club does this. So the fact that I've seen media pages that have linked the Dundee tickets to this particular statement from the club still comes across as a lack of a correlation. In my personal opinion, I think it's mainly these third party sites, especially touting supporters in our fan base that are going out of their way. They buy a season ticket. So, for example, my season ticket is just over £600. So some of these supporters amongst our fan base are actually getting these tickets and then just selling them, making thousands of pounds worth of profit. Now, I know some people over the years, my YouTube channel, go in the comments section and say, well, Adam, it's their ticket, they're entitled to do that. No, they are not entitled to do that. The terms and conditions on your ticket are clear. You are not allowed to sell your ticket on an inflated price for profit to all Newcastle United fans. It's not fair on the system. It's not fair on any of you watching this video. All of you have to fairly go through the ballots. All of you have to fairly go on to Newcastle United's website and to be able to legally buy a ticket to the game. You can't then illegally sell that ticket for an inflated price to earn profit. You are not allowed to do that. It is in the literal terms and conditions. So if you do that, Newcastle United's made it clear they will ban your season ticket. You won't be refunded and you won't be allowed to come back in. And of course, for those single match tickets, you guys can now go onto the club website and try a look at the Barcelona game. But to clarify, the club has also said no new season ticket holders. So for any season tickets that get removed, this gets turned into single match tickets or hospitality tickets. You cannot go onto the website and buy a season ticket. That's still totally impossible to do. But I wanted to clarify in the video because it has now been an official club statement going into detail about how they're looking at over 4,500 active accounts of people there have suspicious interest in who are potentially touting tickets. That's a real problem we've got at this football club. Of course, going away from that, we're talking about Newcastle United as well. I wanted to talk about Ramsey because I was actually intrigued quite a lot with his statement yesterday. He came out and spoke to the media pages and spoken about why he joined Newcastle United. And he said, since Eddie Howe joined Newcastle, I haven't heard one person speak badly of him. In the media, he comes across really well. I look at the team now and I see Tino Livramento, Anthony Gordon and Lewis Hall. And he's made them all better players. When I found out Eddie Howe wanted to be in this team, I immediately thought Eddie Howe will improve me as a player. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about the pedigree Eddie Howe has? What does that tell you about what Newcastle has been able to do in the past 4 years since the takeover? And what does that tell you in terms of the pull power Newcastle United has as a club to be able to attract young English players into join our club? I think it says it exactly spot on, by the way. Look at the examples. Look at how good Lewis Hall is. Look at how good Tino Livramento is. Look at how good Anthony Gordon has been since he's joined Newcastle. And just look at where the players are now. I wouldn't even say it's just an English thing. You look at Italian players. Sandro Tonali's came in, had that 1 year betting ban. He's came back and just look how good he's been in the team. What will that tell young Italian players? And you look at Germany now. Malik Chow's out at this football club. Nick Walter-Marti at this football club. What will happen when the young German players do well? What will happen to this football club when we continue to be able to grow young players up and turn them into outstanding world-class talent? What does that tell this football club in terms of being able to grow on the Eddie Howe? It tells us that we are set and we have a pull power where we are able to attract young players into come to this football club because they want to be better and they want to play under Eddie Howe. Can't be any clearer. They want to play for Eddie Howe. And what does that tell you about the manager behind the scenes? And even speaking about Eddie Howe, you look at Amanda's comment a couple of days ago about interviewed over 30 different candidates to be the Newcastle manager. Only Unai Emery and Eddie Howe were the two outstanding candidates she quoted, and she wanted Eddie Howe, despite agents and despite representatives going against Amanda's wishes. He stuck with it, backed the board, and just chose Eddie Howe. And as they say, the rest is history because he's an outstanding manager and he's someone that's continued, as I would say, defy the odds because Newcastle, yes, has been a progressive club, but we've had two summer windows of a football team that is stagnated because of the FFP and this PSR crap in the background, when Newcastle was not being able to reach the ceiling that they could because of this PSR rubbish. So Newcastle has actually progressed more under Eddie Howe than they should because Eddie Howe is just that good. He's that motivated, he's that dedicated, and even in this case, I want to show you an example now of a player who is actively wanting to join Newcastle United because of the manager that's here and because of the progression of the football club. And as for a football team who has not been progressing legally amongst the Premier League, Chelsea has now been subjected to 74 different charges between the years of 2009 to 2022, of course, under Roman Abramovich. And look at the different charges, including unauthorised agents, unauthorised fees, and just conversations and payments that have not been looked at and calculated in the Premier League. So a real situation for Chelsea now. They've already had a transfer ban under Frank Lampard, and they face a situation where how many videos have we made over the past 12 to 24 months? That's not even about the 2009 to 22 Chelsea team. It's about Chelsea today. How many videos have we made when we looked at Chelsea examples and situations amongst Chelsea where you're just coming across as dodgy? And in this case, 74 charges now. If Chelsea is found guilty, which you would probably assume at this rate they will, since it has been now investigated from the FA, it will mean either fines, transfer bans, or points deduction. So it depends where that will end up for Chelsea. Like, a lot of people watching this video now will probably assume it'll be a slap in the wrist for Chelsea. They got a fine and that's about it. But depending on the severity and depending on how damaging this has been to the league itself, I think it could be a lot worse for Chelsea. I think they're in trouble now, and Chelsea's a team for me that they've done so many things throughout the years where And the Premier League rulings seem fair, you know, selling the hotels to themselves mental, selling the own women's teams to themselves mental, letting a player will go out to a sister club who's going out to Strasbourg, and then Julio and Cisco will then go to Chelsea next summer. Again, all of these loopholes, these stupid 7-year long contracts and these young players, having about 100 players out on loan at once. It just got some crazy tactics and crazy transfer insights over the years, where I think Chelsea eventually is going to catch up with them. They're just a team that, for me, always tries to find a way to push the rules. I always see a team that looks for loopholes, and eventually, there's only so many times you can do that before it comes back and bites you. And I think for Chelsea now, I think they will be punished for this. The FA wouldn't be at this stage now if there wasn't serious evidence there to suggest that Chelsea, considering 74 different charges, you'd have to say there's something in this. So we'll see what happens going forward. I'm not going to say too much more at the minute because, of course, it is currently under investigation. But once that news comes out, we'll go into a lot more detail about it. But Chelsea now are being looked at from the Premier League over charges of 74 different examples between the years of 2009 and 2022. That's about it in terms of this video. I just wanted to give you a few updates. Wanted to talk to you about Newcastle United news. Wanted to give you an official statement that's came up from Newcastle United themselves today. And of course, wanted to tell you about what's going on in the Premier League, including Chelsea. So that's mainly it in this video. Now, of course, in terms of tickets for Newcastle, the Union SG ticket selection period things came out today. So you got a 24-hour period to go on there and to state your intention of wanting to attend the fixture. I'm going to be straight up now. I reckon this game's going to go on 180 plus loyalty points. So this will actually be a game that I will miss out on. 1,000 tickets. It's just not enough tickets for the supporters. So I'll be in Belgium regardless. I'll be at a fan zone checking the game out. To be truthful with you, I don't think I'm going to get a ticket for the game. I think it is going to sell out at crazy loyalty points, especially when you look at the Champions League fixtures as well. Union SG, Leverkusen, the only two matches people want to go to. No one to go to Marseille and no one to go to PSG. So those two games are going to be easy, but I would argue Leverkusen. I'll be fine for Leverkusen, but Union SG, 1,000 tickets, our closest Champions League game as well. A few weeks away, yes, but I think that's going to sell out on a crazy amount of loyalty points. So we'll see. I'm not confident I'm going to get that one, to be honest, but we'll be in Belgium regardless. Just want to update you on that. Thank you guys for watching anyway. Take care. Appreciate your support, and we will see you all in the next one.